Assalamu alaikum and good evening. You are watching Humsab TV and I am Muneeb Hamid with the news. Committee on FATA reforms converted into cabinet body. Federal Cabinet on Tuesday deliberated upon the FATA reforms issue and granted ex post facto approval to the formation of National Implementation Committee on FATA reforms. Besides converting the committee into a cabinet body in order to expedite the process of mainstreaming the restive tribal areas, sources told that the decision to convert the already constituted committee under Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi into a cabinet-level body was aimed at providing sanctity to its decision and would help expedite the process. Defence Minister Khurram Dastagir Khan, Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission Sartaj Aziz, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Governor Iqbal Zafar Jhagra, Chief Minister Pervez Khattak and Peshawar Corps Commander have also been included in the High-Level Implementation Committee headed by Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi and Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa. Restrictions on Jadav's family trigger new spat. A day after the government allowed convicted Indian spy Kulbhushan Jadhav to meet his wife and mother, India accused Pakistan of violating the ground rules agreed for the meeting. A statement from the Indian Ministry of External Affairs claimed that Islamabad committed 4 violations of the agreed-upon rules by prohibiting the family from conversing into their native Marathi tongue, making the 2 women change their attire and remove religious symbols, preventing the Indian Deputy High Commissioner from observing the meeting and permitting media to harass and hector the 2 women. In a statement, the Foreign Office rejected the Indian allegations as baseless and twists that came 24 hours after the meeting. Resolving cases, NAB chief wants pending references heard early. There are about 1,138 corruption references which are currently pending in different accountability courts of the country, and the Apex Anti-Corruption Watchdog wants the cases to be heard early to recover looted money. A high-level meeting at the National Accountability Bureau headquarters on Tuesday was told that 347 corruption references from the Lahore Bureau were currently under trial. Moreover, 275 references were from NAB Karachi, 185 references were from NAB Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, 97 were from NAB Balochistan, and 171 from NAB Rawalpindi. 34 references were from NAB Multan and 29 corruption references were from NAB Sakkar. In a meeting held on Tuesday to review the progress of the accountability body, NAB Chairman Justice Retired Javed Iqbal directed that 499 inquiries and 287 investigations pending in various regional bureaus should be completed at the earliest to recover the looted money. Foreign loans compromise sovereignty, says Chairman Senate Raza Rabbani. Senate Chairman Mia Raza Rabbani said on Tuesday foreign loans come with the strings as lenders' conditions infringe upon national sovereignty. If a nation has a choice, then it should opt for increasing exports by promoting the indigenous industry and making it competitive, he said while addressing the 41st Export Award ceremony of the Federation of Pakistan's Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He said it was easy to get foreign loans, but when the payback time comes, it is always difficult to dish out funds to even pay the interest, leave alone the principal, out of the scarce resources. No political alliance in the making at Pat Mood, says PTI Chairman Imran Khan. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Chairman Imran Khan and his entire team came to express complete solidarity with Pakistan Awami Tehreek Chief Tahir-ul Qadri, his cause and a possibly popular and legal battle he seeks to wage in pursuit of justice of the victims of the Model Town incident. Addressing a post-meeting joint press conference, Mr. Khan also bailed Mr. Qadri out from his claim of making both Asif Ali Zardari and him sit on his either side at the planned multi-party conference, saying that no political alliance was in the making at the MPA. It does not matter who sits and where, as long as all agree on a single cause and struggle. End to indecent coverage of judiciary sought. Islamabad High Court on Tuesday sought reply from electronic and print media bodies, their regulators and Ministry of Information on a petition seeking end to indecent coverage of the judiciary. Islamabad High Court Justice Amir Farooq on the petition of Sardar Shehbaz Khosa directed the Ministries of Information and Broadcasting Information Technology, Pakistan, Telecommunication Authority, Pakistan, Electronic Media Regulatory Authority, All Pakistan Newspaper Society, Pakistan Broadcasters Association, Pakistan Press Foundation, and the Council of Pakistan Newspaper Editors to submit their reply within a fortnight. The petitioner adopted before the court that he recently noticed through print, electronic and social media that the judgment of the superior courts were being purposely and by design being targeted to malign the judicial system and the judges of the superior courts. Saudi Arabia releases corruption detainees, others before trial. Saudi Arabia has released 23 of the 200 or so powerful individuals detained since November on corruption charges after they reached deals with the government. The report did not name those involved in what appeared to be the first large-scale release since the royals, businesses and people and government officials were detained in a crackdown spearheaded by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The suspects have been held at Riyadh's luxurious Ritz-Carlton hotel since early November and told to hand over assets and cash in exchange for their freedom. Saudi-led strikes on Yemen market kills 14 civilians. Saudi-led airstrikes killed 14 civilians in a village market near Yemen's battleground third city, Taiz, as a nearly 3-year bombing campaign intensified, an official and medics said on Wednesday. The Tuesday strikes also killed 11 rebel fighters and wounded 16 civilians, a local official loyal to the Saudi-backed government told. The official, who asked not to be identified, said the strikes were intended as air support for a local revolt against the Houthi rebels in the village of Al-Hayma, northeast of Taiz, but the warplanes hit the wrong target. Pyongyang will reach out for talks next year, predicts Seoul. Pyongyang will change track during the new year, emboldened by nuclear advances. North Korea is likely to explore the possibility of dialogue with the United States next year as the communist state seeks recognition as a nuclear-armed country. South Korea's Ministry of Unification said on Tuesday, North Korea may continue to advance its nuclear and missile capabilities while searching for an outlet externally, the ministry said in its predictions for the country. In searching for the recognition of its status as a de facto nuclear-possessing state, the North would explore the possibility of negotiations with the United States. North Korea missile developers hit by U.S. sanctions. The United States has placed sanctions on the 2 North Korean officials it says have led to the deployment of nuclear missiles. The U.S. Treasury named the 2 men as Kim Jong-sik and Ri Yong-chol and said both were key leaders of North Korea's ballistic missile program. The UN Security Council imposed new sanctions on North Korea on Friday in response to ballistic missile tests. North Korea said the move was an act of war and tantamount to a total economic blockade. The new U.S. sanctions will block any transactions by the 2 men carried out in the U.S., essentially freezing any American assets they may have. Both men are regularly photographed alongside North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at missile launches. Syrian rebel opposition rejects Russia proposed talks. Syrian rebels and opposition groups on Tuesday rejected Russia's proposed peace talks, accusing Moscow of failing to pressure its ally, President Bashar al-Assad, to end the conflict. In a series of statements, 40 rebel groups, including some of Syria's most prominent as well as political opposition groups, said the talks expected next month are an attempt to circumvent the US-led process, which has made virtually no progress since it has begun in 2014. The rebel group said Moscow has asked them to give up their demand for Assad to step down. British women jailed in Egypt for smuggling painkillers. An Egyptian court sentenced a British woman to 3 years in prison on Tuesday for smuggling around 300 painkiller tablets into the country. In a ruling, her defense team said she would appeal to have overturned or commuted. Laura Plummer, a 33-year-old shop worker from Hull, was arrested in October after the tramadol tablets were found in her suitcase. Her family told British newspapers she bought the tablets for her Egyptian partner living in Hurghada. Sports. Mutko steps down as Russia Football Union chief. Russia Deputy Prime Minister Vitaly Mutko, who has been dogged by allegations of involvement in doping and was banned for life from the Olympics this month, said on Monday he would temporarily step down as president of the Russian Football Union while he contests the ban in the Court of Arbitration of 4 sports. It's a move apparently intended to deflect international criticism as Russia prepares to host the 2018 World Cup, and Mutko is to appeal to the CAS on Tuesday against the decision by the International Olympic Committee to ban him from the Games over allegations of state-sponsored doping. Pakistan reserves the right to pull out of Asia Cup next year, Sethi warns BCCI. India's objection over Pakistan hosting the 2018 Emerging Teams Asia Cup might force the latter to exercise its right to pull out of the Asia Cup, which will be staged in India in September next year. Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Najam Sethi warned on Tuesday representatives from India and Bangladesh were absent during the Asian Cricket Council meeting in Lahore in October after they raised the aforementioned objections in a meeting earlier in Dubai, which led to the decision that Pakistan will host the Emerging Teams Asia Cup in April 2018. Weather forecast for next 24 hours. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country. However, light rain with light snowfall over the hills may occur at a few places in Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. Foggy conditions are likely to prevail over plain areas of Punjab and Upper Sindh during night and morning hours.
That's all for now. For more news and updates, keep watching Hums Up TV. Take care.
Please subscribe to Hums Up TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching Hums Up TV.